Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I know these are some very challenging times, so I appreciate your presence. I want to tell you a story that has its biblical basis in the book of Luke, the 15th chapter, beginning at the 11th verse. It is very common scripture, but relevant and powerful in these times. It concerns the prodigal son. It reminds me of a time in my own life when, in the Spirit of the Lord, I decided to go and to meet my father at one of those little quaint places in the Spirit. I sat down at the nice table and began enjoying the music. And then, quite in order of what my father normally does, he had already prepared a table before me. But the waiter came and delivered my drink, sat it down before me, and I picked it up, and y'all excuse me for just saying it like it is. But I picked it up and it was milk. They say milk does your body good. And as I sat there at the table and waiting on my father and opened up that milk, and I started thinking to myself, here I am, a grown-ass man, drinking milk. Here I am, I mean, think about it, started thinking in my mind how it is that it seems like my father is overprotective and controlled. It looks like he wants to literally order my steps with his word. It looks like he wants to somehow make all my decisions for me, all my choices. He gives me milk to drink. I sit there and I look at the waiter, and the waiter expects me to drink all of the milk, but at this point in my life, at this particular time in my life, I don't want milk anymore because I'm tired of milk. I feel insulted by milk. And so I close the carton and I put it to the side, and I look to the waiter and I say to the waiter, I said, sir, I'm not going to be drinking milk today. You've got to give me something stronger than milk. I'm old enough to handle stuff. And sometimes we get this belief in our minds that we are greater, we are stronger, we are wiser, we are smarter than what we really are. This was the case with me on that particular occasion. I refused to drink milk because I had been drinking milk all my life. And then when I thought about it, the waiter looks at me and he says, that's not a problem, we have other offerings. And he points on the ledger, and there I see he has God aid, he has power aid, he has living water. All of these kinds of drinks is what's served up in the church. And I began to feel some kind of way because I felt like my life was being controlled. The church, all I was getting from the church was these nice drinks, these flavored drinks, these power drinks, these energizing drinks. Never something, but I wanted something greater. I wanted something with some zing to it. I wanted to taste something stronger. I didn't want to be just given the little easy stuff to enjoy to drink. I tasted the living water. I had tasted the power aid, I tasted the God aid, I tasted all of that stuff. And it did have its place at its time. But I was tired of all of those drinks, and for sure, I was tired of milk. Because I felt like I was bigger, better, stronger. Felt like I was a man. And sometimes we really need to check check ourselves and realize that our Father knows best, that our Father knows who we are. He's been with us even before we've been with ourselves. He has been here all along, but yet we get caught up in this demanding in our mind that we are greater than, I'm stronger than, I've been here long enough. Look at me, I'm a preacher. I've been pastoring now over 25 years. I wear a robe, I pastor a church, I have a following, I have children, I've studied scripture, I'm stronger. I know that I'm greater than milk. I know that I can be trusted with more than just water and power. I want something strong. That's what I told the waiter. I said, you got to give me something strong. Because I want to prove that I'm a man. I want to prove that I can stand up to the challenge. I want to prove that I'm just not somebody who's just walked into the church lately. But I've been here a while and I feel strong. But you better be careful what you ask for, because God will open up some doors that'll help you to realize who you really are. But I was caught up in myself. I knew I want more milk. I want something strong. So I told the waiter, I said, Mr. Waiter, you got to give me something stronger than this. I'm not going to have this today. And he looks at me and he said, but your father specifically ordered milk for you today. Your father specifically said bring him milk to the table. And I looked at the waiter and said, I don't care what my father said. Give me something strong. Because I can handle it, because I'm a man. Strong man. I can handle it. Waiter said, you want? No, I don't want it. Living water? No, I don't want it. Powerade? No, I don't want it. God, no, I don't want it. I want something that I have never tasted before. I want something that I've never experienced before. I want something that will challenge me to the core of who I am. I want something that will be able to prove to other people around me that I'm no longer a child. I can handle stuff. But your father said, I don't care what my father said. Give me something strong. I looked and I said, well, what's that? The waiter said, you're not ready for that, sir. I said, sir, I didn't ask you whether I was ready for it. I want to know, what is this right here? He said, well, sir, your father ordered some milk for you, so I brought you. I told you I don't want any milk because I'm strong. I think I'm strong. I know I'm strong. I feel strong. I think stronger. Stop treating me like I'm a child. I want some of that. Sometimes we get into situations that we think that we can manage, that we think we can control, that we think that we can handle, that we think that we got this because we're strong, because we think we know a few things, because we got a few degrees on the wall, because we've been here or there, or because we have some people in high places. We feel like we can manage and control things, but you need to realize and remember that our Father knows what's best for us. But I wanted that. Waiter, did you hear what I said? I said I wanted this poured into my glass right here. As a matter of fact, this glass is waiting for me. I want that. What is that? He looks at me and the waiter says to me, we call it La Famine. La Famine. Is it some kind of French wine? Is it some kind of foreign juice? Is it some kind of spice? What is it? He said it's La Famine, and it's not for you. So I said, Mr. Waiter, listen, let me tell you something. If you tell me one more time, I'm going to get ignorant with you. Because I know who I am. I know what I can handle. I want some of this. And you don't know, sometimes your spirit will order something that you don't realize that it ordered. Sometimes some of us think that we are getting one thing when we're ordering something else. Sometimes we believe that we understand what we are entering into, about to receive, but we are clueless. I demanded that he pour me some la famine. La famine. La famine. La famine. The famine. So he said, if that's what you want, help yourself. I should have listened to him when he said, because what he said was crucial and key. He said, help yourself. Yourself. And that's exactly what I did. I quickly picked it up because I wanted to show him and I wanted to show the world, baby. I was ready for me some La Famine. La Famine. La Famine. La Famine. Laugh at me. Laugh. La Famine. So I filled it up. The waiter looked at me, he said, sir, you put too much in the glass. And I looked at him and I said, listen, I'm going to remind you one more time, whatever I pour in this glass, I can handle it all because I'm a man and I'm smart enough, I'm strong enough, I'm wise enough, I've been exposed to it, I can handle it. Don't treat me like a child. You've already insulted me by bringing me milk. As a matter of fact, if you don't think you can just leave right now because I'm going to drink it all. And he appeals to me, he says, well, if you're man enough, drink it all. I looked at it. Little glass. La Famine. La Famine. La Famine. Over the teeth and through the gums. Look out, tummy. Here it comes. Must admit, the first sip was strong. It wasn't to my palate's taste. I wasn't used to it. Now I begin to understand what the Bible means when it says that we are in the world but not of the world. As a matter of fact, we are a peculiar people. And because we are a peculiar people, those things that excites the world ought to not excite people in the church. Those things that are familiar and comfortable with people in the world ought not be familiar and comfortable with people who are in the church. When you are saved, when you have given God your life, you have committed yourself to change. And therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. That's why when I had the first sip of La Famine, it was nasty. And I quickly spewed it out of my mouth. And something in my mind, something in my spirit told me that I was entering into a domain that maybe I shouldn't be so sure about. Maybe I shouldn't be so comfortable walking into it. Maybe I need to rethink this. But something about a man's pride and something about a man's ego and something about a man's self will make him and cause him to run past his spiritual boundaries, will make him lean on his own mind and on the trust in his own limited finiteness. And I was determined I was going to prove this waiter wrong. Because, sir, I don't care what it is. La famine, the famine, coronavirus, a side piece, working 80 hours a week. I was going to be able to handle it because I'm a man. Don't let the robe fool you, baby. Underneath the robe is a real man. The waiter said to me, well, let yourself drink until, baby, you ain't got to tell me nothing. That ain't but a thing, yeah. to me? How these spiritual bodies and our fathers, hold on, and our father's hedge of a protection around us, how it is that he tries to warn us about some things. He tries to give us signs. He tries to keep it real with them and remind us that he knows what's best for us. But yet still we press beyond those confines because of our I'm all right. I'm all right. And the way he looks at me, he asks me, well, how does your Famine make you feel? I said, well, sir, it's like a burning going down. I could feel the Famine. I could feel it begin to have some kind of way with me. And I made up in my mind that I cannot get caught up in the moment. I got to press on. I got to push on past the initial burning that I feel in my throat. I got to push on beyond the initial sweating of my pores. I got to push on beyond the initial jolt of it all and get past it because I'm determined that I'm going to show this way. I'm determined I'm going to show my friends. I'm determined that I'm going to prove to my father. I'm determined that I'm going to prove to myself that I can handle whatever he throws. I don't need his help. I don't need anybody else's help. Why are you looking at me? Wait up. I'm fine. I'm going to finish this. Just give me a moment. I'm finishing. And then I began talking. I started to feel some kind of way. And the waiter was looking at me as if to say to me, see, but you're a man. And I told him, yeah, I'm good. I'm still good. I started feeling and started thinking about some things because it started to take over into my mind and into my spirit. And he asked me, he said, how you feeling? What's going on in your mind? Talk to me. I need to know that you're all right. And I look at him and I tell him, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm still holding. I'm yet holding on. I'm not passed out. I'm not going to die. I can handle this. I'm strong enough. I told you my mind is alert enough because I'm a man. But I was feeling something. I started. Because there are times in life when situations come in your way, and challenges, and trials, and tribulations, and they'll have you alone by yourself. It'll get you in a place where you start thinking. You don't realize it, but you're really under the influence of the Famine. You're under the influence of the famine. You're under the influence of the sin. You're under the influence of the problem. You're under the influence of being away from God. You're all by yourself, and you start feeling some kind of way. And the famine will start talking to you. Start reminding you about all of the problems that you've gone through. I'm good. I said I'm good. Why you keep asking me? I'm good. I told you. I'm still drinking. I'm not finished. And then I started thinking about the fact, about all of the, boy, the devil good at getting you in a place where you just get into this little pity part and your mind start thinking about some stuff that you've been through, you know? That's the reason why you're here. It's the reason why you're drinking this thing. It's because you've been through some stuff, man. People done betrayed you. Ace Boone Coons that turned out to just be coons. Folks that said they were gonna have you back, stabbed you in your back. People that promised you that they were gonna support you turned out to be the very ones that were leeching off of you the whole time. And I don't have anybody to talk to, so I'm sorry, Mr. Whaler. I just want to tell you these things because I'm feeling some kind of way right now. Got away. It's hard out here. It's hard as hell. Hold on. Double them burgers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's hot here too. Whew, hot as hell. So I drank more than the Famine because I was determined that I was going to make it through this entire test, this entire challenge. I was going to finish it off because in a sense this was my consolence, this was my friend, this was my moment of achievement. This was the time when I was going to show the world, well, I got this. Whether you've experienced it or not, sooner or later you're going to have that time when your pride is going to be challenged, when your self-man is going to be put on the spot, when folk are going to try to see whether or not you're strong enough to handle things. And in yourself, you're going to try to prove them, but you can't. So I drank more of the Famine, the famine. I sip more from the cup. Because I don't do milk no more. None of that other stuff. I'm a left man. I'm a left man. I'm a left man. That's what I am, sir. I'm a left man. I got this. I got all of this. I don't care about nobody. I don't need nobody. I got this shit right here. Me and left a man and for me. You know, after a while, after you start leaning on your own understanding, then you have to try to prove to people. See, I got to prove this. I got to prove this way right here that I ain't just, I'm just a preacher on Sundays, you see, because I do more than a preacher. We're going to turn the lights off. I'm all that, I said. I'm more than a preacher. Tired of being a preacher. Whoop, witty, whoop. What? No, I'm not finished. I told you I'm not through. I'm not done. I'll be done when I'm finished, and I'm finished when I'm done. Not for me. Stuff will bring you and change from who you really were raised. Because I was brought up in the church. My daddy was a preacher. My daddy was a pastor. My mama was a singer in the church. We all went to church. And we all sang in the church. We just church. All my life, I was a preacher's kid. But I got to change my image because that's not working for me no more. What is working for me is going on my own. Just like the prodigal son. The prodigal son had it right. He had it figured out. Mr. later, he had to pick it up. He knew that was better for him, and there is better for me. There may be room at the cross, but there's also room with the famine. So I decided that I'm not going to do that holy thing all no more. I think what I'm going to do now is, excuse me, sir, change my image. It's time for me to do a change of image. I need it different because I'm tired of being Mr. Good Two Shoes for everybody. Tired of being Mr. Good Two Shoes for everybody. Because doing right is working out wrong. So you're still looking at me, and I keep telling you I'm all right. And so things will cause you. And some of you know that you've changed your image from where you used to be. You used to be the kind of person that people looked up to and valued and saw as being wholesome and good. But because you felt like people took your kindness for weakness and began to use you, and because you felt like you weren't getting any further in life, you have made the choice, you made the decision that you're going to change. You're not going to be nice anymore. You're not going to be good anymore. You're not going to be kind anymore. I don't care how I was brought up. That's my mama, and I'm not my mama. Not my dad. That I am that. You can like or not. I'm somebody else now. Because I want to be like everybody else. I want to be cool. I want to be different. Because I'm tired. Tired. See, it's hard to change who you are at the core if you've been raised in the church. If the word of God has been placed in you since you was a kid. Because the Bible says if you train up a child in the way that he should go, when he gets old, he will not depart from it. But they may stray sometimes. And so mothers and fathers, I thought by to let you know, your child may be looking strange right now. He might be acting kind of funny and different. He might be going against the way you put inside. You know you brought him up in the church. You know he was singing in the junior choir. I was singing in the junior choir. Now, I'm different. I'm different because, not because mother wasn't good, not because father didn't do the right things, not because I wasn't raised in the right environment. I'm different now because I'm going through some changes. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to make some sense of the world that I'm living in. I don't understand how it is I can do so much good, how it is that I can stand on the word for so long and still end up always trying to be the last man. I don't want to be good anymore. I want to be Mr. Famine. Yes, sir. Cheers. It's you because I'm changed. I'm not Bishop. I'm Brother B. Brother B. And let them in. Brother B, let them in. The more the famine in you controls you, the longer you are away from the church, the longer you are away from the Word of God, the longer you are away from the place where your Father's house is. The further you go off to the far off country, the further you go out there and do what you know not to do, but you're doing it because you want to cover up, because you want to be somebody else, because you don't understand why you were programmed and brought up the way you were, why you were so protected, why you were so covered. You don't understand why it is that you had to be so good. You start to run away from your father. And change, you change. You have changed. You have changed. Because you're not the same. You're not the same. You've changed. You've changed. All of you have. You have changed. Say it. I know you're looking at me right now. Say it. Say it. Say, I have changed. Because I used to be happier. I used to have more joy. I used to not take things so seriously. I used to not be so scared. Change. I had to get hard. I had to. And so now, because you know you're feeling some kind of way, now because you know you don't have the joy of Jesus, now because that peace that passes all understanding has been forfeited, now because you have changed it over, you have released it and gone into the far off country where you now abide, the place right now where you now make friends with people you don't like, where you pretend to be people that you're really not, the place where now, as far from your father and from your upbringing as you possibly can go, you made that choice. You go there. You went there. You went to the Famine. You went there. You did that. What you looking at me for? I'm fine. There's a little bit more to go. Then I'm going to be a man. I'm going to show everybody I'm a man. But I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why they treat me so bad. So now you know that your life is a wreck. On the inside, you're struggling. You feel the loss. You feel the sadness. You feel the sorrow. You feel the pain. You feel the hurt. You feel like screaming every day you wake up. Nothing seems to bring you any kind of peace in your mind. You know that you're not right. You know that you're not straight. You know why you're looking at me. Everybody gets on your nerves. So you spend days trying to get straight. I just gotta go get straight. And so then you make the same decision. You go get your father's money. Because the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. It all belongs to him. I ain't giving no tithes to the church. I'm not giving no offerings to the church because I'm not there no more. I'm doing me. Doing me. So you start to give your value. You buy things like silver and gold, bling bling and diamonds and jewelry, and that's pretty. And you buy expensive colognes and perfume because you be wanting to smell good around people and stuff. Because you think that's going to help. Then that doesn't satisfy you with people. So you buy yourself expensive watches, and then when you can't afford it, guess what you do? You buy the knockoff brand and try to act like it's real. And so you wear the knockoff with the silver. Rolex. because you want to pretend that you are somebody who you are not. Like a fake Rolex, a Dooney Berkey purse, a coach that's not really a coach. But you don't even feel real, you feel plastic, you feel fake, phony. Speaking of a phone, did y'all see my new iPhone? I'm somebody now because I got the latest, the latest iPhone. Look here, I got the latest iPhone. I wish my mama would call me. Nothing brings you consolation. Nothing consoles you. Nothing makes you feel powerful. And you start to long for and miss the days, just like the prodigal son when went off to the far-off country and spent all his money on things that brought him no consolation. Spent all of his money trying to make friends. Spent all of his money trying to feel good about himself, trying to establish himself, trying to prove himself. Spent all that he had so that he could be somebody that it never was and never could be. And just to end up sitting here thinking to himself, you such a loser. So you find stuff to try to make you feel better. Take you down slowly and sometimes quickly. Then the Bible says that a very curious thing, sorrowful thing happened. After he had spent all that he had, the text says, then there arose a famine in the land. A famine. Then in the text it specifically says that he began to be in wants. It ain't a famine. It's not a famine. It's not a famine, la famine. It's not a famine. It's not a famine until it affects you, until it's a famine for everybody else who are in want, but when it knocks on your door, then he lost everything he had. I think there was a writer that said one time that it isn't until suffering is experienced in its completeness before it becomes healing. It's a fancy way to say that you're going to have to go through You're going to have to endure the entirety of the famine. You're going to have to be able to go all the way through. But I warn everybody listening to me today, I need you to understand, whatever the famine might be, it might be loss of a job. It might be loss of a loved one. It might be loss of friends. It might be loss of health. It might be loss of wealth. But whatever your famine is in your life, you're not going to be able to endure it by your might or your mind or your looks. Or the drink, or the pills, or the thrills. I drop by to tell you that I think I know what's missing. I think I know why it is that my father, at his house, at my father's house, he always gave us living water, Powerade, God, and I think I know now why. Because I'm missing that. I'm missing his house. So I had the nerve and the audacity to go to him and act like I was smarter than him, and I wasn't smarter than him. Stupid. The famine in your life. It'll make you miss some things about your father's house. It'll make you miss the pews in the church. It'll make you miss the table that says, in remembrance of me. You'll be sitting in your house, dark place, thinking to yourself, it's been a long time since I've been to church. Used to think that church was just for them old people. But my mama was in the church. And she didn't have a lot of money. But we ate every day. We didn't have no steaks and all that stuff. But we ate every day. And I can't even feed my children sometimes. Man, how I miss this place. Miss that old preacher. He preached 3 hours. It seemed like 3 hours. He preached 3 hours. But I sure wish you would just come and preach one sermon for me. I just need one sermon, just one good sermon. I just thought if I had He could preach all day. Because I just feel so empty inside. I remember that. Y'all remember communion? We used to have communion. Remember that? I remember them stale crackers. Y'all remember the altar? Remember that announcement clear? If I would have kept the altar at my house, the devil never would have gotten inside there again. I never should have, just never should leave the church. But you can't handle the far off country. It'll make you hungry. Make you hungry inside. Remember the song they used to sing? Say, we offer Christ to you, oh my brother. We offer Christ to you, oh my sister. He will give you brand new life. Life abundantly. So come. Because your Father is still here. He's still in the house. And he still loves you. Back. God bless you.